heartache was born, a uniform on. He stood so proud, said goodbye to his family in the crowd. With every step, he felt the weight, fighting for freedom and unsealed fate. Images haunting him, shadows that creep, a soldier's burden too heavy to keep. Now there's a war at home, deep in his soul, where the battles rage on and the wounds take their toll. He's back in the arms of the ones that he loves, but they can't see the scars, can't see what he's made of. With a drink in his hand and a song in his heart, he drinks to old Jason. It tears him apart. Around the table, laughter fills the air, but he's lost in the silence, a ghost in a chair. They talk of the future, dreams yet to chase, but he's stuck in the past, no comfort, no grace. Trying to shield them from his internal fight. Most days he sweeps it deep down inside, but there's no escaping memories that hide. Now there's a war at home, deep in his soul, where the battles rage on and the wounds take their toll. He's back in the arms of the ones that he loves, but they can't see the scars, can't see what he's made of. With a drink in his hand and a song in his heart, he drinks to old Jason. It tears him apart. Then one night in prayer he cried out for peace, holding on to this pain. Lord, please give me release. And in the silence he felt a warm glow, a brotherhood gathered, the strength they bestow. They'd also seen battles, fought demons inside. In the fellowship of brotherhood he found a new stride. So now he's learning to let it all be, to share the load with those who can see. Together they rise with scars that connect, knowing this journey requires deep respect. He's not just a soldier, but a man who believes that healing is real when you fight what deceives. With his brothers beside him, he's finding his way in the war at home. He's no longer astray. So here's to the fights, both outside and within. sacrifices made because of your pain. Freedom will never fade.
All right, so there we have it. Ben, can you hear me okay? Mary?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Mary? Mr.
Yes.
Buckles, how are
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Hi, doing good. I had
Doing
to
all right?
download
Hi, bud.
the app in order to be on the meeting, but I'm here, so good to see everybody.
Good to see you too. You doing all right?
Yeah,
Good to go. Well, we're going to be having a light conversation here tonight, I think. We're trying to get things orchestrated. We've hooked up with a group called Freedom at a Price. Going to bring some spirituality to our conference calls here, and hoping to really grow this into something where we can just have honest conversation. You know how it rolls, Tommy. So,
yeah, it sounds awesome, Deb.
Oh, good. So you're doing okay? Everything's okay with your son?
Yes, yeah, it was
Recording in
it was
progress.
a little hectic the past couple weeks, but everything worked out great. He's finished up with his first grade and finished up his first season of baseball, so I was
Good.
running all over the place. It was one thing after another, but I've been getting a lot of VA appointments in since coming back from the Marcus Institute.
Yeah.
Been really, really busy.
And that's all
but
good.
in a
How
good
are you
way.
feeling?
What
How
was
are you
that?
feeling since Marcus? How are you feeling? Do you feel any different about things?
Absolutely, yeah. It's it's just 21 days, 3 weeks program. That's like the time that you need to be able to build like new good habits again.
Yeah.
You need that, and so being in that protected environment and having that set schedule and being with that good cohort, it was like that's what I needed to get rolling again. I'll be honest, since coming back, I've been a little overwhelmed because there's been like a million things to do, and it does get a little frustrating sometimes. Uh, but I've been pushing through and making a lot of really good progress. I spent most of today getting ready for Father's Day. It's free fishing weekend in Montana, so
Oh,
I'm
come
gonna
on.
take
Isn't
Jeff
it
out.
awesome? That was a pretty big cohort you had over at Marcus Institute. Are you staying in touch with any of them?
Yes, yeah, we're still in contact.
Excellent.
I need to recover some contact with Alex again, but um, it's like we get a group text pops out every now and then. I've been in touch with another guy. He's been interested in property in Montana, so been trying to help steer him in the right direction. Um, but yeah, we're staying in touch for sure.
It's all good, Tommy. It's so good. Take it back to where it was a few
Yeah,
years ago, or 5, 6, 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it was pretty rough.
You look good. I'm really proud of you. That's a huge comeback, bud. Well,
Thank you.
stay tuned. Hey, Ben, you there?
I am.
I'm going to let you have something to say and explain a little bit about what we're trying to do with merging Freedom at a Price and AMF together. I think it's got a lot of great possibilities, and I'm looking forward to the new partnership here. So would you explain to people a little bit about who you are and what you've been doing?
Oh, absolutely. So I am with an organization called Freedom at a Price, and there's a dual meaning to that. Most everybody would understand that freedom in the United States is not free. It comes at a heavy cost, and that price is typically paid with the blood of men and women who fight on the battlefield overseas for us. And some of them don't come home. Some of them come home with wounds. Myself, I've come home 2 different times with wounds from the battlefield. So, and I've also boxed up and bagged up many of my friends who paid that heavy cost. And then the other side of that is, because that's for our freedom here in the United States, our earthly freedom. The other side of that is what Jesus did for us. In my firm, strong belief that what Jesus did on the cross to give us the eternal freedom that is ours, that He has given to us. So this Wednesday evening partnership between American Military Family and Freedom at a Price is really exists to reach the folks who need help. They don't know what to turn to. They don't have anything to turn to, and they're out of ideas. They're empty, and they need somewhere to go. And so this is the outlet for that. Obviously, it's starting out small, but this is something that I believe God put on Deb's heart to do this, and she's finding out that it's a tough task to do this. So the more of us that can jump on board and help get this functional, number one, and then once it's functional, this is going to be some work. So we need some folks for the long haul, and we just produced that video that I think will help. I apologize for getting it on Wednesday, but we'll have it for the weeks to come. And the intent behind Freedom at a Price. So I am a veteran, and I understand how veterans think. I understand how their mind works. Is to be shrewd, right? Christ told us that that we're to be sheep. We're going to be sheep among wolves, and we need to we need to know how to act out there. It doesn't mean that we need to act like the wolves, but be shrewd in how we reach these folks. And so that video that my wife created, who God has really gifted her with some incredible talent to do that stuff, and I believe that video will reach the men and women who are feeling exactly how it looks and sounds. They're out of ideas. They're turning to things that are damaging them or breaking them further, and it's not filling that hole that that they want to have filled. And so I'll take 2 seconds and go back to a hole that I had that I was trying to fill, and I tried to fill it with cocaine, with every kind of drug that there was, with alcohol, with women. I tried to fill it with that. I tried to fill it with gambling and everything else, and it turns out none of those worked. So this gathering right here, this form of brotherhood and sisterhood that the guys and gals had back in the military, and some of them who come here may be active duty, and they have it, but they're just not. It's not the same. It's not what they're looking for. This is going to be critical. This, I believe, is a step in the right direction, and so that is the long and the short of that. I did ask Deb that if we did this, that I would open this up in prayer, and I would say that I'd like to do that because, I mean, if we go to a baseball game or we go to a football game, everybody opens them up in prayer. There's no big deal. So inviting the Lord into this, even if that's not your belief system, is most people don't have a problem with that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up in prayer, and then I'll just toss it back to you, Deb.
Oh, good, Ben. Go for it.
Lord, I thank you for the opportunity that you give us. I thank you for the technology that you give us for this very thing here, which is to help people who are, Lord, they're lost, they're broken, they have tried to fix themselves, and they just can't seem to get it done. And so, Lord, give us the wisdom, give us the courage, give us the boldness to continue to do this and reach those people, and give us the words to say to them, Lord, that we would be able to help them in their time of need. And God, we just ask that you would be present here, that you would fill whatever this is with your Holy Spirit, and rule and reign here in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. And thank you, Ben. So, guys, trying to get the word out about what we're doing here is going to take some time. and some practice. We had a full plate today. Rose and Pepe joined myself and some others. We were attending the funeral of a dear friend, a veteran, and it humbles you when you spend a day, remembering and living life, good, bad, hard, up, down. And I feel personally blessed to be able to come to something like this, and celebrate life, celebrate those that have passed on, hopefully have a strong impact on those who don't see the beauty in preserving their life and feeling so empty that they feel like they have to succumb to their own death by trying to kill the memories and things that they have. We are so proud, and Tom, I'm so pleased to see you on here tonight, Tommy, because if and when you guys can come on the line and tell your story through your eyes, Tommy, we go back a lot of years ago, and I vividly remember. I'm sure you remember that night in the forest and your family and all that, and where you are today. But it took great courage to do what you did, and to hear your story now with your son and Busy and Marcus Institute and others, your presence here will inspire others to want to do something that they don't even know exists, let alone that it could have a very positive effect on their lives. I got a call today. He's not on the line, and he's been clean for about 4 weeks. And he thinks he's ready to go to the Marcus Institute or to Summit for treatment of TBI. You have to give some time to get that alcohol and drug out of your system. And a lot of the organizations that can really have an incredible impact on your life, like the Marcus Institute and others, you need to have a clean palate, if you will. You need to be clean for 6 months before they're going to allow you into their program. A lot of veterans want to run away and get away from the madness. And I think it's so important that we don't sit here and lecture them, but that through your own personal experiences, and ladies, I see several of you on the line. Rebecca, your story with Daniel, Selena, certainly with your husband, others that you have met, Mitch Hammond and others. It's just a matter of telling your story and not being afraid to share your story, because as you move forward with your life, the tough times become a distant memory. And the treatments that are available out there, the word will resonate by your statements, by your experiences, by you sharing. If you can't come on here every week, come on when you can. If you have people that are struggling and they want an instant Band-Aid on open heart surgery, well, send them over here, but it's probably not going to be quite as easy as they think. The resources that we offer are incredibly expensive, phenomenal programs, and there's our longer and longer wait lists because more and more people are hearing about them and realizing that they work. Selena, I don't know what's going on with Tony and the family. How are you doing, Selena? How is he doing? Can you sound off and give me a little feedback on him?
Sure. So things with us have been actually really good, and just we're getting along a million times better, and life is just looking up for us. He recently lost his grandmother, and if you know Tony, that is his mom, his dad, and his grandma all in one person.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
I was a little afraid that things might backslide a little bit, but he did amazing, and he just said he doesn't want to go back to old habits. And we just kind of worked through it, and we talked, and just kept making sure to check in with each other, and things have actually been really good. I mean, he still gets in his little funks every now and again, but he's used, his Marcus Institute stuff, his breathing techniques and stuff, he's been really good, actually. It's surprisingly how good we've been.
And what kind of an impact does that have on you and your family?
It's been nice, like just having us all together, and the girls seem a little bit more relaxed. I definitely am a little bit more relaxed, and it's a more positive environment around here, and me and
So,
him have learned to talk to each other way
yeah.
better than
How
where
did
we
you
were.
feel, Selena, when you came out to the AMF Utah intervention? That was what, 3 years ago?
Yep.
3 years ago. Did you ever see you then where you are now?
No. I think when we first went to Utah, I was pretty much ready to come home and be like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it was hard, and I could see the toll it was also taking on my kids, and
Mhm.
but things have turned around and things have gotten better, and I'm not going to say he's perfect, and the he still drinks, but it's like one beer maybe a week, if that, or if we go to dinner. So he's learning social drinking more than every day, and he's working nights, so we're just kind of trying to find time to be together. And um I don't know, I was ready to walk away, I was ready to turn around and not look back and hope for the best. But I mean, with the help with you guys, and then after the last incident that we had, and both of us kind of talking to Rajani off and on, that helped a lot, and I think it was an eye opener for him also.
It's a remarkable gift that keeps giving. And everybody here today in this room or those to follow have a similar story. Are the storylines the same? No. Was it service to country? Yeah, the common theme. The reintegration back home, the anxiety, the fear. It took courage for you to show up there that day, Selena. You didn't know everybody there, and nobody else did either. We just had our most recent intervention in Utah less than 2 weeks ago, a different group of people. For those of you that were there, you know that we had a couple there with his therapy dog. Um, he became a part of the event, and very sadly, after he went home to their new home, by the way, in a new state, a new beginning, feeling really good. Somebody blew a shotgun off, and the dog ran in fear and was hit by a car and killed. And now they're in a state of mind that is devastating because he was their companion for years and all that stuff. It's life, and 1 minute good, maybe the next minute not so good. But I was so pleased to see that they had reached out to everybody that was in that cohort in Utah. I'd like to see more of those people on this line when they can, today and in future weeks, because each person, just like you, Selena, has a story. And they were nervous to come, didn't know what to expect. And then at the end of the day, you have new friendships. There's a private room where they're all speaking now, and that's what we're trying to do. As you tell your stories, you encourage others who have severe apprehensions about something like this working. But, what's the alternative? How's that been working for you? And so it's about getting people ready to get the best resources in the country if they're ready for that. Tommy, if you're still there, you know what a change that was from many years ago. Would you give a little insight, Tom, for a minute about when we first met and where you are now?
Yeah, when we first met, that was November of 2019.
Oh my gosh.
I had made suicide attempts before that. I wasn't doing that at the time, but I had definitely committed like a social and familial suicide. I was out hiding in the woods. And it was a lot of it was dealing with the PTSD. A lot of it was dealing with a lot of shame and guilt, and I don't know, just a lot of really negative emotions. And my only thought at the time was, I'm just better off living out in the woods, and if nature takes me, then nature takes me. And by the time you guys had got a hold of me, I hadn't eaten in like 3 days. I was much lighter, I was much skinnier at the time. I'm sure you remember. Um,
lot colder too.
Yeah, and much colder. Yes, I was very cold. So that's how I was at the time. Obviously, a lot of factors led into that. And then it's been a struggle over the years. It's the recovery isn't automatic. It isn't the healing doesn't happen overnight. But the big intervention that we did last June, so it was a year ago, uh, and that was a kind of a wake up call for me to get going again, and I needed to start focusing on taking care of myself and my family, and pulling things together again, uh, instead of just surviving, just going from day to day to day. Obviously, again, and a lot of factors that led into that pattern of behavior, but it was time to change it. So that was kind of that wake up call that happened in last June. That was when you turned me on to the Marcus Institute, uh, and then the Marcus Institute that got approved, but then my kid had a seizure, so I had to run back, and we had to reschedule, and then I had to go back and do it again. So even that was a bit of a struggle. So the recovery doesn't happen automatically or easily or overnight. It takes you have to find a direction that you want to be in and be going for, point at it and go there. And if somebody like Deb comes along and she offers you a little bit of help along the way, then yeah, you got to pay attention to it, because it's not easy to figure all these things out when you transition from being a veteran or from being a active duty to being a veteran. Right now, you got to start thinking for yourself. You got to start figuring these things out, and it's not easy. I mean, especially when you got TBI and PTSD and everything else getting in the way. It's and then you add alcohol and drugs and everything else on top of that, and that makes it even worse, right? So it took a little bit of cleanup, and took some setting some new, not new, but just better patterns and behaviors, better habits. That's what what you call it. So
But I was even thinking about your wife at the time. It was
yeah,
such trauma, and that often happens. You're at the lowest point, the marriage ends, child custody cases, taking children away. You're at a low point as it is. But speak to at least your relationship today with her,
yeah,
because I didn't think that was going to go that way.
yeah.
Very glad it did.
No, and me too. I'm glad that we're on a functional and
Yep,
fairly healthy co-parenting relationship so far.
absolutely.
It does have its challenges. It's not perfect, but we do get through and make sure that our kids taken care of. Yes, there was a lot of fighting at first, and uh, hang on a second, let's calm here. There was a lot of fighting at first. Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we got a different picture on you now. I don't know what that is exactly.
Oh, that's me and Jeff hanging out. Let me see if I can fix this picture situation. All right, there we go.
There you go.
But yeah, there was a lot of fighting at first, and it was really ugly, and a lot of name calling, all this sorts of stuff going. It was just hideous. But I realized looking back, how much of my own self was playing into that. Right, like I'm not trying to recover anything or restore that relationship, but I recognize where, okay, here's some areas where I definitely was wrong, and I was not aiding the situation. I need to stop doing that. So that was step one, was being really on, getting more honest with myself again, and not going out and hiding in the woods thinking that was a solution. That was definitely not. So
Definitely not.
yeah,
But you look at all that, it's a huge comeback. But you keep putting your foot forward, and good things have come as a result of it. I want to be able to offer you too, if and when the time becomes something you want to consider. Consider going to Summit for hyperbaric treatment.
yeah,
Could also be a further benefit. It's a beautiful program and a great environment in Idaho. AMF covers your expense to get there, housing. They cover, in a partnership with us, the treatments. It is the greatest state-of-the-art treatment. I encourage anybody, especially, we've got a guy, and I wish he was on the line. This is not like just start out, you're doing drugs, alcohol, and you decide, I'm ready to deal. I haven't been drinking for 5 days. I'm ready to go. Send me to Marcus Institute. Get me over to Summit for that HIBOT treatment. You got to decompose. You got to decompress. You got to get the drugs and the alcohol out of your system. That's step one. But simultaneously, you can be submitting your application to, say, perhaps to the Marcus Institute. You could be talking to our VA advocate because maybe you're not getting all your benefits, and start getting some financial pressure off of you and getting your benefits that you're entitled to, should that be the case. The point is that you can be doing things that are moving you forward without the immediacy of treatment, but you're on your way. These programs are worth 50 grand, and they're not taking that anything but real seriously about who they let into that program. And Tom, watching you graduate, I mean, that was just a kick, because the memory was so vivid of how beaten down you were. I don't know if you remember the video you recorded for us.
Yeah.
It was one of the most heart-wrenching things I've ever watched, seen. And it was because you were so desperately in need of help. And it was almost like, I don't know if you were afraid to ask, or do you have any thoughts about that, to somebody who's got a spouse or somebody that's just afraid, and their person needs the help and is too ashamed or afraid to ask for the help? Do you have any thoughts for somebody like that?
Yeah, there's like a kind of an attachment to the self, right? That thinks I can handle this, or maybe I don't need help, or maybe, there's that, and it can kind of get in the way. If somebody is actively, running you down and saying, "Hey, can we help you?" then it's probably time to pay attention.
Yeah, that would be good.
That was the big shift for me. And I know that at the time, and coming out of the woods, I felt just mentally broken, like my mind was in 1,000 places, and I was just trying to pull anything back together that I could, but I knew that I was just not on the right course. So
It was hell too.
yeah, and it was yeah, it took, I had to reevaluate, or not just reevaluate, I had to turn and face the problems again, and then reevaluate, okay, what are the important ones I need to handle and stick to. And at the time, it was the safety and concern of my kid, and making sure he was taken care of. And that was part of the fight, but it was really hard for me not to overreact at the time, right? Like, I was full blown PTSD mode. I was not on my meds. I was, I mean, it took nothing for me to get set off. So it did happen a few times. I'd lose my temper, my cool, and then the next thing you know, I was having to answer for it in front of a judge. So it was like, now I need to reevaluate my emotions and how I allow them to come out, and I had to pay closer attention to that. And so it's getting the help is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that the PTSD or the TBI goes away. It just means that they are pointed in better directions.
At the end of the day, Tom, believe it or not, now where you are now the leader. You are the leader through your experience, through your traumas, through even your willingness. When you got in the car that night, I mean, that's one of the greatest memories I've got in 21 years. I'd never seen anything or heard anything like that night. And so when you realize that somebody thinks that's a better alternative than to reach out and not be afraid to come and get the help, it's it's a whole new beginning for you. I'm really, really proud of you, Tom. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your story. And, honestly, stay with us. Stay with us, because the more we can grow this, the more people will hear the reality of what was and what is and what can be. And it may not be as bad as your situation. It may be worse, but it's not just hope. There is a reality waiting for people that take that first step. And and by doing this, it saves lives. And I thank you for being here. Lisa, I understand that there's somebody waiting. I'm sorry, I lose track of these things. Is there somebody that wanted the floor, Lisa?
No. So I just wanted to double check. I see somebody in here under the name of Carrie, but I believe it's Paul, is that correct?
If anybody who wants to be identified, if you would just use your signal, the hand up, we'll be glad to recognize anybody here.
Oh, I see you're unmuted now. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Paul, but Carrie's here with me too.
Oh, wonderful. I'm glad you guys could join. I'm glad you saw the posts and were able to jump on. Tell us a little bit about yourselves if you want.
I've been retired from the fire service, firefighter, paramedic for about coming up on 4 years now. Diagnosed with PTSD and depression. So I've been working on that a lot of improvements. I've got good people helping me through it. I recently, 2 months ago, I finished Warrior Path. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it.
Yeah. How'd that work for you?
It was a phenomenal program.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. Good for you. Can you tell me a little more about it?
So it didn't cost me anything. It was all provided to me because I'm a first responder. I flew down to Texas and spent 5 days on their ranch. It's I guess sponsored, I should say, by Boulder Crest Foundation.
Yep.
So I spent 5 days on their ranch. They provided all the meals, all the lodging, made sure it was a safe environment for everybody. There was a group of 10 of us. We all moved through the program together. And
can I interject? Were they all first responders?
No, it was a mix of police officers, firefighters, and military.
Beautiful.
Both active duty and retired. But at the end of the day, we all kind of had the same stuff going on.
Absolutely. So how long did it take you to decide that you didn't want to struggle like that anymore and wanted to reach out to somebody for help?
Well, I started out with addressing my alcoholism.
Good for you.
I wasn't really considering PTSD. So yeah, I started out with it prior to retirement because I was, I think, 52 when I started AA and that for my alcoholism. And the event that got me into that was reading an article that the average age of death for a professional firefighter is 57 years old.
Is that right? Holy mackerel.
It's 56 for police officers.
Oh, Judas Priest.
And I don't remember the number. There's a number for military also, but they're basically all in the 50s.
Wow.
So when I read that was just the light bulb went on. That was my sobering event, I guess I would say. I started asking, well, why are we dying at the age of 57? You know, it's career wise, it's a good career. I retired with a pension. So from that aspect, it's a great career. But it was, poor eating habits, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, alcohol, drugs, a whole list, of things. So yeah, that when AA kind of painted the picture for me in the way of, I realized everything that was going on with me was my problem. Not necessarily that it was my fault, but at the end of the day, it was my issue to deal with. So that basically put me on the path to find people, because I didn't know how to deal with myself. So that put me on the path to find people that knew how to deal with what I was dealing with.
So can I ask you the time frame before? How long were you in service and how long did you wait to get help?
Oh, how long did I wait to get help? Well, too long. I'm not really sure if I can put it like a timeline on how long. If you're asking me like how long to get to Warrior Path, I had to fill out an application and go through an interview process. And I guess that was from the time I applied to the time that I attended was probably about 6 months.
And what I was asking is, and may I ask, Carrie is your wife, I presume. Is she on too?
Yeah, she's right next to me.
Yep, I'm here.
So Carrie, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to ask you your side of that. How long did he have issues that you were concerned about, and how long did he wait before he felt it was okay to go get some help? Do you have an idea about that?
I would say issues started around when his dad was sick.
Oh dear.
He started drinking really heavily.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
His dad was he was dying of lung cancer.
Oh, gee whiz. Sorry.
And that was 13 years ago. And so
Wow.
at the time he started, what did you say, like 5 years? So yeah, so probably 7, 8 years really that there were issues before.
And how long have you guys been together?
We our 35th wedding anniversary was this week.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And we've been together since high school. So we've been together
Oh my
39
gosh.
years. Yeah.
So what's it like to, for someone like you to have someone like him for all these years and see the struggle and life's tragedies, and how did y'all deal with it? How did you decide that instead of calling it a day, I want to call for help? What was that all about? How did that work for you guys?
Is that for him?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I guess from my point of view, I think it was, again, when I started addressing my alcoholism. And she saw a lot of improvement in me, a lot of good change in me. And she also started working on herself because of that.
Oh,
She's been through this whole journey with me, and she's attended some of the trainings I've been to, you know, some of the events that I've been to. I've invited her. So she sort of started running in the same circles with me, you know, the same social circles as far as people that help first responders. And she actually volunteers with an organization that helps female first responders.
very, very nice. Very nice. Are
So
you are you still actively active duty with the LEO department, or are you a first responder still, or what happened to
No. I when I retired, I got out of it completely. With the caveat that I do volunteer. I'm a Indiana state certified peer supporter.
Well, good for you. I love that.
And I also volunteer with a local first responder peer support group.
And how does that work for you? Does that not help you stay where you're at? And how does that make you feel when you're helping others like you?
Initially, when I got involved with it, it was difficult because some of the debriefs that I went to would trigger me.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But since I've attended Warrior Path, I couldn't tell you exactly what's different, but I don't get triggered in that way anymore.
That's incredible.
I still, feel things, it's some of these debriefs I go to, they're just absolutely horrific. With what the first responders had to deal with, but somehow I process it better. I'm a little bit more distant from it. And it also helps me, and I don't know how to put it into words, but just helping others, being of service to others is helping me to, I guess, maybe stay on the path.
It's a inspirational thing, isn't it? I mean, when you're with like-minded company, you're in this very strong minority group. I know my family, my brother became, law enforcement, homicide, autopsies of bad guys, went to war. You know, we've been estranged forever, finally reconnected after 35 years. The toll that your decisions make to be American heroes, and you all are, for stepping into the roles that you do. I don't know that you are able to take that time to understand. You know, you're so valuable to all of us as a country, and yet at the end of the day, the damage sits with so few of you that it's almost like, you know, where do I go from here? You do understand how powerful you will both be in your individual lanes and as a couple to mentor to others, because you bring with you not only the reality that no matter how hard it got for you, you did what you needed to do anyway. Now look at me now. I mean, how does that make you feel? Are you so I don't know, you're retired now at your age. You are doing this on the side to help others. What, explain that to me. What are you doing with that? How does that work?
So when I'm out in I guess I would say when I'm out in public, if I see like I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. I volunteer at a local bird sanctuary. And it just so happens that the police officers from the local department like to park in the parking lot there and do their paperwork. So when I see them in their squad cars, I make sure that I carefully approach them so I'm not a threat. And I introduce myself and I tell them, you know, I explain to them that I'm a peer supporter, and I just point blank tell them my story, that I've got PTSD. I'm a recovering alcoholic. You know, I'm not shy about it.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I do that intentionally to make myself vulnerable, because first responders are not trusting people.
No. Well, they have a lot of reason why they're not. You know, they've seen a lot over the years, and and it comes in all kinds of ways, right? You go to work one day. You know, my brother used to say, you know, that the strap of the gun. You know, his wife would be comfortable when she heard him put the gun on top of the refrigerator when he got home at night, and she heard the strap Velcro. You know, it's something as simple as that. It's because you guys don't know what you're going to face during the course of any day at work. How long have you been retired now?
I'm coming up on 4 years. I'm just a couple months shy of 4 years.
And so over these 4 years, you have been helping others. Is that how you spend your time and are fulfilled by that?
Some of my time. Honestly, my disappointment is I know that there's plenty of military and first responders that need help.
Yeah.
And they're not actively reaching out for it. Or if they have tried, they've had issues getting the help they need. So that has turned them off to even trying any longer.
It's a fear of losing your job, right? I mean, but you do understand a guy like you is going to reach an audience like them. A guy like you could go in and tell them, here's the deal. There are related services out there that you could be considering doing while you're still serving. You don't have to wait or be kicked off the force or retire on your own and, you know, self-medicate and all those things that so many do. It's
a big thing is not just simply making sure they know that they're not alone, but going a little deeper in making sure that they know they're not alone in their particular struggle. And what I mean by that is I acted like I was the only first responder that ever battled alcohol.
Now, you all think like that. In the military, you all think like that. And it would be lovely if you all get around a circle and started talking. You'd find the vast majority of them have something to identify with you and you with them. It's just how.
And that's what Warrior Path did for me, is I was surrounded by people. We all thought we were unicorns. We all thought we were the only one. And, you know, once we got in an environment where one by one we were able to open up, you know, I'm just looking at the people next to me going, wow, this dude's been through the same crap, you know, and he's going to understand me. And, you know, we could talk and know what we were saying, you know.
That is exactly what we're talking about here, whether it's military, law enforcement, first responder, all of that. You all are in the same category. You just don't realize that. the ladies come, we do, we call them intrusive interventions. We bring couples out. It's not couples therapy. There's no preset agenda. It's conditional upon the people who are in the room. We just did one. There were like 26 or 7, I don't know, people there. And it was veterans, spouses, significant others. It's exactly the same thing. And in that room, I learned many, many years ago, there's still, no matter how bad the situation may be, there's still somebody in that room who's better off than you and who's worse off than you.
Yes.
The women get together and they talk. Do your husband ever do something like this? God, what do you do about something like that? It's humanity reaching out. You don't need an agenda. The agenda is the way you've chosen to live your life. And really, God bless all of you for doing what you have done. We need people. We need American heroes like you to do what you're doing. What would we be without it? And in today's world, we need it more than ever. And so that doesn't mean that that there isn't help out there for all of you. It's just about getting the word out there and letting people know that like-minded people can do an incredible job to help other like-minded people. I'm really glad, for whatever reason, I'm not sure how this all works yet. I'm very glad you joined us today. You know, I'm taking the whole floor. If there's anybody else here who would like to be heard or talk.
I have a question for you, Paul. Where in Indiana were you stationed out of?
I retired in Indiana, but I worked in Illinois, Northeast Illinois.
Okay, so in 2005 to 2007, I was on Indiana Metro as a medic in Indianapolis, downtown. Did you ever do any of the big fire conventions in Indianapolis?
I did. I used to go to FDIC, not every year, but pretty regularly.
Ever meet a guy named Rick George?
Does not ring a bell.
Okay, he teaches at those now. I don't know if he would have when you were still in or not, but
yeah, my last few years, because I was in retirement mode, I didn't do the kind of training that I used to. A lot of that was just due to my injuries were catching up to me. And I was honestly concerned that if I went to one of these hands-on trainings, I would get permanently disabled. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be disabled, at a training event. If I'm going to be disabled, I want to be doing something heroic.
yeah, his big thing was actually he did the meditation portion of it for firefighters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but firefighters up until recently didn't take well to that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. He's pushed through quite a few of them, and he does amazing stuff out there now.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So, Carrie, do you have any thoughts about what it's like to be married to someone like your husband? What he chooses to do, has chosen to do with his life, and how that impeded or affected your life?
It's been all great, right, dear?
All right, now let her talk.
I'm very, very proud of him for the career that he chose. Recently, we were talking, and I said because I think he has said if he, knew then what he knows now, he wouldn't have gone that path. Just knowing how it affects your family and your mental health and all of that.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this?
I think once you got it in your blood, you are those kind of people.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to say, that he, one thing I just wasn't prepared for was how it would affect him physically. And now that he's retired, he's 57, and sometimes it feels like he's in the body of an 80-year-old, just because of all the injuries, the chronic pain.
Oh boy.
Still, we thought he'd retire and he'd finally be able to sleep, because all those years of, never sleeping more than 3 hours in a stretch. And thought when he retired, it would all be good. He'd be able to sleep all night, but he's just still in that mode where he still doesn't sleep. And it's just affected him physically in ways I wasn't prepared for. And now that he's retired, it's, we can't can't do a lot of the things that I thought we'd be doing in retirement because of the physical effects.
So it
How many
sounds like-
TBIs?
I'm not aware of any. Having said that, I've never been tested, so.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Surprise
a
me.
very common reaction. You know, you don't have, it's not like you just look at it and say, I must have a traumatic brain injury. There's got to be something wrong. That's what it is. You know, there's so many things that are, the brain is a remarkable thing. And institutions like Marcus and Shepherd's Men and others do remarkable things. Hyperbaric chamber, oxygenation to your brain. Sometimes you don't even realize. My son was a law enforcement officer, fell back one day and hit his head really, really badly. I got to say he's different since he has his TBI. Some are easily treatable, others go deeper. But you know, something to think about if you have a need and want other resources out there. How long ago were you at Warrior Path? I'm sorry, I think you told me, but I didn't write that down.
2 months ago.
2 weeks ago?
It's about 3 months.
2 months. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, closer to 3 months ago.
Wow, no kidding, no kidding. And how long did it last for you? The treatment, the program?
So I did 5 days in Texas at the ranch, and then followed by 85 days of I guess I'd say online support. Like every couple of weeks, we do Google Meets. We text each other in between. Sometimes it's a group text. Sometimes as individuals, we text back and forth.
And how many people would be in a group, a cohort, as they call them?
So it's 10 people in my group. However, Warrior Path has their own app that I have on my phone, and only Warrior Path graduates have access to it.
Hmm.
So I have a private group with the 10 people that I went through Warrior Path with.
Very
But
nice.
there's also like what do you call it? A common area in the app where anybody that's been through Warrior Path can communicate back and forth. You can even see Warrior Path graduates that live near you.
Have you kept in touch with everybody since you graduated?
I have. Yep.
Very nice. And how are they doing?
All of us are still struggling, but we're no longer, I shouldn't say all of us. Some of us are struggling a little more than others, but we're no longer struggling by ourselves. So if I'm having a bad day, I just can text someone or, call them on the phone or whatever.
I would encourage you to consider inviting them to our group here every Wednesday night. I think that that's exactly what we're trying to do, is reach larger masses of people and trying to spread the word, not only about great resources out there, but like-minded people can do remarkable things for like-minded people. So I invite you and encourage you to ask them to join us, and may be very interesting to have a group conversation. Mary, I see your hand up there. Mary? Mary, is that you? Mary? I got your hand up, girl. I don't know.
Hello. I finally got me unmuted. Sorry.
There you go.
First, I would like to say how phenomenal and how proud I am of Tommy and Paul and Carrie and Selena, all of you, because that takes work, what you're doing. It takes recognition, it takes strength to do what you're doing. And I am so proud to be an American on this call tonight. I have a question. Did any of you ever, did you have a church growing up in? Did you go back to church? Did you look at the faith aspect of this at all and try to lean on that, or not lean on it, but accept it and see if that would be helpful to you? Don't all talk at once.
I'll speak. I do not attend church. I grew up attending church at times. A couple of events happened in Iraq that just kind of convinced me that I was through with organized religion as a whole. But that did not mean that I was through with Jesus, or that he was through with me. He wasn't just related to some church or anything else, right? He was a historical, actual person that existed and taught us great, wonderful things and did a lot of miracles, and has absolutely and remains to be the lighthouse in my life. But I've learned over the years not to be bitter or angry at the church or people that do go to church because of some things. It's just kind of learn to be more accepting and understanding. It's how people get through things. So I'm not upset with that at all. Just stick with Jesus.
Good. So you didn't when you realized you were struggling and having problems, you didn't blame God.
No, but I did have some questions for him at that point, right? Like, and it caused a lot of other things to come up for me.
Sure.
But I what I had seen and witnessed was not God's fault. That was not God's doing. It was pretty awful, but I was angry for a bit, right? Like there was a little short period of time there where I was just like, F God, like really mad, like thinking that somehow I was going to have an impact on that. But over time, I learned to kind of shift, because I couldn't face come to grips with. I don't know. This sounds kind of strange. It was after that incident, someone had brought me a copy of a book on string theory, and that helped me kind of recognize how intricate and connected the universe is, and that kind of made me reconsider that, okay, there is a God, and I just need to reevaluate how I'm looking at him or for him. And so that was kind of where that shift had happened. Not being angry at my family or church members or anything like that because of some feelings in the past or whatever. That took me actually diving into the lessons of Jesus, talking about forgiveness, forgiving 70 times 7. Like that's 490 days of prayer where you're forgiving somebody. You learn over time eventually what caused the thing to begin with. It's amazing how that practice can bring you some peace. But I don't know what else to say. I'm not mad at God at all.
That's good. I think that's important. I lost my husband. He was a veteran and he passed. And that was one thing I was asked. I joined my grief share program through my church, and I hadn't been to church in forever. The last time I tried to go was on 9/11 and the doors were locked, and that pissed me off. So yeah, the organized religion, I struggle with that myself. But I was asked in this grief share program that I went to, that I found, what was it, a year or so after he passed, were you angry with God, or are you angry with God? And I thought, I wasn't angry with anybody. I was sad. I was disappointed. I was scared. I was very scared. But I don't know how I could have gone through that grief without believing in God and believing in angels. And I needed that, and I got what I needed. And I'm learning more and more about it and filling myself up more and more. So I'm just curious. I think it was Ben that said last week, we all have holes, and you go through a traumatic experience and you don't realize what's missing. And so I think some of the missing pieces might be faith. And so I'm just curious. I didn't know, Carrie or Paul, if you ever thought about that piece of it, or if that's a no-go, or it's none of my business, really. It's something to throw out there and think about, I guess.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Does faith play a role in how you heal?
It does more recently.
Okay.
I never, through my career, I don't think I really had any sort of faith. Just 2 or 3 weeks before I retired, I was on an incident that I was close to retirement, so I was in a different mindset. I was much more relaxed and much more open-minded somehow. Um, and I ended up on a car accident involving children. And when the call initially came in, it sounded absolutely awful. So myself and the entire crew, we all had that pucker factor, all the way there. When we got on scene, we found out that literally nobody was injured, in spite of how all the information we were getting. We were all prepared for something that was going to be absolutely horrific. We all had our adrenaline pumping because kids were involved. And I noticed, first of all, with myself, but then I think everybody on scene, the paramedics, the police officers, everybody that was there, we were all in shock that no one was injured. And I think at some level we were even in denial because we were literally going in different directions, looking for injured people laying in the bushes and on the side of the road and so on and so forth. And there was nobody. And when we got a little more information, we found out that everybody was accounted for and no one was injured.
Wow, that's like a miracle.
That was what I said to myself. I said I just witnessed an absolute miracle because it wasn't only that nobody was injured, but a car had crashed into a gate, and the gate went through the front windshield. It went through the center of the front windshield. It passed between the driver and the passenger, who was a child.
Wow.
And the gate went into the back seat and came out the passenger side rear window.
Oh my God.
There were 3 children in the back seat, and none of them were injured. So, and me explaining it doesn't do it justice, because when I saw the way that the gate was bent and deformed, the only way I could describe it is an angel bent that gate away from those children.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful.
Wow.
The miracle of life and things you see and how we misinterpret or how we internalize all those things.
Yeah. And that's what, like I said, I admitted to myself that was a miracle. That wasn't dumb luck. That wasn't an accident. There was a higher power that made all those things happen that way. And that started my path on some sort of faith.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
I would ask all of you to sharing. I wonder, Ben, if you have any thoughts about tonight's dialogue, and if we might reunite next week. I wonder if you might want to offer a prayer as we close this session down. Got any thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely what Paul said. One thing that will happen with you, Paul, is now that you've had that situation where God has opened up your eyes to the fact that this is not just a bunch of random molecules smacking into each other, that a genius designed all this, you'll be amazed at what you see that just shows proof to a creator. And I appreciate you sharing that, because it's not it's sort of a brave thing to do in 2026. It's not a popular thing to do. And so I applaud you for sharing that story. I think this is going to be an amazing thing, Deb. And as time goes on, and as this grows and it gets some momentum, and folks see it and the algorithms pick up, it is 2026. So we got to take into account the computers that are running these things. It's going to be great. So plus I am a man of faith, and if we're out here, planting the seeds, then the Lord will give the increase. So let me pray us out, and we'll see you guys next week.
Amen.
Lord, I thank you so much that you have just, well, Lord, you knocked our socks off today. Even with just a couple of conversations with some folks, God, we thank you for that. We look so forward to the weeks and months and ahead that we have, God, to the people that we're going to be able to interact with, the help that we'll be able to provide them. And God, I just pray that you would go before us this week, that you would prepare this platform for next week. You prepare us for the increase that you inevitably are going to bring. And God, I just pray that we're each and every one of us, we're faithful to you. And Lord, if there's somebody out there that does not know you, I pray that this week you would reveal yourself to them, so that there's just no doubt in their mind. And God, we just love you so much, and we pray this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. And to all of you, thank you for opening up your hearts and your lives, sharing with one another. I know one thing after 21 years of doing this, you never know who gets the message, when they get the message, but often it happens when somebody needs it most, and you may never know about it. So thank you all for being here. We'll see you same time next week. And until then, God bless everybody. Have a good night.